My name is Alina, and what I am about to confess is not just about love, or betrayal, or even marriage. It is about how one kiss can unravel a life, how a single moment of weakness can open the door to consequences you never imagined. If you had asked me 2 years ago whether I was happy, I would have smiled and said yes. I had everything a woman was supposed to want: a stable marriage, 2 beautiful children, a charming home in Savannah, Georgia. From the outside, it was perfect. To the world, Marcus and I were the couple others envied. But behind closed doors, our marriage had lost its color. Marcus was a good man. He worked hard as an attorney, he provided for us, and he never let us go without. But Marcus was also distant. He had grown cold over the years, and his love had turned into duty. Conversations turned into checklists, intimacy into routine, and nights into silence. I tried to tell myself it was normal, that passion fades but commitment lasts. But deep down, I longed for something more. That more came in the form of Julian. Julian was Marcus's childhood friend, someone I had only heard about in stories until the day he returned to Savannah after years of being away. He carried himself differently than Marcus. Where Marcus was structured and rigid, Julian was wild, magnetic, and unpredictable. He had a way of entering a room and pulling every eye toward him without trying. And when he looked at me, it was like he saw the woman I used to be before I became a wife and a mother. At first, it was harmless. Marcus welcomed Julian back into his life with open arms, and since Marcus often worked late, I was the one who spent the most time helping Julian adjust. He came over for dinners. I gave him tours of the city. I told myself it was nothing. But nothing has a way of turning into something when 2 people share a hunger they can't name. It started with little moments. His hand brushing mine when we passed dishes at dinner. The way his eyes lingered too long on me when I wasn't looking. The tension that hung between us during car rides when the silence said more than words ever could. And then, there was the night of the storm. Marcus was out of town for work. The rain came heavy, the roads flooded, and Julian couldn't drive home. He stayed with me and the children. By 10 o'clock, the power went out. The kids were asleep upstairs, and Julian and I sat in the living room with candles lit. The air was thick with the smell of rain and something unspoken. We talked for hours, sipping wine as the storm rattled the house. It should have been awkward, sitting there alone with him, but it wasn't. It was charged, dangerous, and intoxicating. When a thunderclap shook the house, I flinched, and Julian reached out, placing his hand over mine. That one touch sent fire through my body. I pulled away quickly, but it was too late. Something inside me had already shifted. That night, we did not cross the line. But the kiss we didn't share hung between us like lightning waiting to strike. Days turned into weeks, and it became unbearable to ignore. I caught myself watching the clock, waiting for the moments when Marcus was gone so Julian might come around. I hated myself for it, but I craved him. The way he made me feel seen, alive, wanted. And then, one afternoon it happened. I was in the kitchen cooking when Julian walked in. Barefoot, shirtless, with a glass of water in his hand. He leaned against the counter, watching me in silence. His gaze was intense, piercing. "You're too good for him," he said quietly. I froze. "Don't say that, Julian." "But it's true," he whispered. "He doesn't see you. Not the way I do." My heart pounded. I turned to face him, and when our eyes locked, every defense I had left crumbled. He stepped closer, close enough that I could feel the warmth of his skin, close enough that I could hear his breath. And then, he kissed me. That kiss was nothing like the ones I had with Marcus. It was desperate, hungry, like we had both been starving for years. My body betrayed me as I melted into him. That kiss was the beginning of something we could never undo. The weeks that followed were a blur of secrecy and passion. Stolen moments in the kitchen, late-night phone calls where we whispered until dawn, and meetings in hotel rooms where time didn't exist. Every kiss, every touch, pulled me deeper into a world I knew could destroy me. But desire always comes with a price. That price came the night Marcus found out. It was a Tuesday. I remember because the children had just gone to bed. I thought Marcus was still at the office, so Julian came over. We were reckless, kissing in the living room, unaware of the sound of the front door opening. When Marcus's voice cut through the silence, my entire body froze. "What's going on?" he asked. We turned. Marcus stood there, his face pale, his eyes wide with betrayal. Julian pulled away, but it was too late. The truth was in the air, thick and undeniable. I expected shouting, anger, maybe even violence. But Marcus did none of that. He looked at us, then said something I will never forget. "Don't stop." Those two words shattered me more than any scream could have. Julian stepped back in shock. I felt exposed, humiliated, destroyed. Marcus walked past us, up the stairs, and closed the bedroom door. He didn't yell. He didn't rage. He simply withdrew from me in a way that was far more painful than anger. That night broke everything. Julian left soon after, saying what we had was too dangerous, too toxic. He couldn't handle the weight of what we were doing. He disappeared from my life, leaving me with the wreckage. And Marcus. He stayed, but not as my husband. He stayed for the children, for the house, for appearances. But the love was gone. He treated me like a stranger he had once known, and the silence between us became unbearable. It has been over a year since that night. I am still here, living in the ruins of a marriage that no longer exists, haunted by the kiss that started it all, and the silence that followed. So I ask you this. Which is worse? To be betrayed, or to be watched while betraying? To be unloved, or to be loved so dangerously that it destroys you? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And if this story pulled you in, don't forget to like, share it with someone who loves deep, emotional tales, and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Your support means everything.